Hello and welcome back to the Making Fire podcast. This is the podcast where two longtime besties talk about their favorite TV show, Survivor. This week, we are recapping the finale of Survivor China, season 15, doing our little rewatch. We're almost at the end.
We are. I can't believe it. What a long, strange journey it's been. And the end of our third season that we've covered.
I know. I think we should do a thing where we do a new season every week.
Every week, yeah.
Do you think you can binge watch a season of Survivor in a week?
I think maybe if this was like our full-time job.
It will be soon. Trust
it
and
will
believe.
Be soon. I'm feeling it's coming.
I once watched one whole season of Survivor in a day.
When was this?
This was in high school. When I first went back and rewatched. I can't remember which season it was, but I had like nothing going on that day, and I just woke up really early at like 7 or 8 or something, and then just watched 14 episodes of Survivor. What's 8 plus 14? How many hours is that, you think?
Is it 22?
Yeah. 8 plus 10, plus 12 would be 8 p.m. plus 2 would be like end around 10, 11.
Wow.
Isn't that kind of scary? Yikes.
Yeah.
Well, before we get too into it, Maddie, how are you?
I've been better. Today's actually a really sad day in my life. A chapter is closing and I'm really sad about it. Today was, as of we're filming this, August 29th, the last day of the game Vertex on the New York Times.
Oh.
That was part of my daily routine. And I love that game so much. And I'm just like truly so sad that that game is leaving us, but games like Letterboxd and Tiles still exist.
Let me familiarize myself with this game.
Okay, if you're not familiar, basically it's like a bunch of it's like connect the dots with these like numbers, and then it makes a pretty picture, and it's different every day. And it is so much fun.
It's kind of just like a relaxing game.
Yes, it's not like you don't really have to think.
You don't have to think.
Yeah. And it's done today, and I'm really upset about it.
So, there's not even like an archive or anything.
Nope.
They just like deleted the game.
Just gone. So that is brutal and upsetting. And I just want to voice that opinion to the New York Times, because how dare you? Literally get rid of Letterboxd. That game sucks. Just play Spelling Bee. Tiles? They just... Oh my god, this one makes me mad. Why are there not more themes? Why do I know all of them?
Not somebody put a change.org petition to keep Vertex. I want to see. Oh, there are 362 out of the 500.
I have not signed it.
Sorry, what I was just about to say is that the Vertex NYT subreddit is not very happy.
No, they are upset. As am I. So that's where my head is at today. In mourning, pretty bummed.
Yeah, I hate. Why did somebody message the New York Times on Facebook Messenger and ask them to
keep Vertex?
Wait, they said, I was hoping you would consider reviewing the post I started in the Vertex subreddit. We're all a bit crushed at the decision to remove the game from your offerings. We understand there are reasons for this, but this game definitely has a dedicated following. Some of us asking for maybe access to an archive. I appreciate your time. Here's a link to my post. And then before the person could even link the post, it automatically responded, hi, thanks for contacting us. We've received your message and appreciate you reaching out.
I also would advocate for an archive.
I feel like it's crazy to not have an archive. I've never played this game, but I think that's insane for there to not have an archive.
Especially because this game you can't even play unless you have a subscription. which like stings even more. Like I'm paying
And
for this.
they also don't really leave you a lot of time. It happened like 20 days. Like I remember it being really sudden. Like it wasn't that long ago
Yeah,
that
no,
they were
I
like
think it
work
was like either the end of July or
July. It
beginning
looks
of
like it. I'm
August.
scrolling through and it looks like a month ago.
Yeah.
There's one.
And all of a sudden there's a message that pops up when you go to play the game that says, "Hey,
Maybe they're revamping it.
No. It
Oh.
says discontinuing it today. So,
Um
anyways, how are you?
okay, first of all, don't put that negative energy on me. I just want to say that also Reddit is crazy. I have not been an avid Reddit user since like 2021, which I know that like 3 years ago, but during COVID I was a pretty avid like Redditor, which
What
is crazy to think about.
what subreddits were you
Primarily
into?
just like reality TV subreddits. I think mostly like I was looking for a place where I could talk about reality TV since like nothing was airing. But I was pretty active on the Survivor subreddit. That's how I got recruited to start my little Survivor orgs.
Oh.
That's how I was sucked in, unfortunately. And the Drag Race subreddit, I think there were some like the houseplants ones I really liked. There's a dedicated subreddit for like selling and like trading plants, which I was always like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and then I never did it. Um, but Reddit is crazy. There's something. What did I just see? I saw somebody was talking about Reddit. I can't remember what this was related to, Al. So I'm not going to talk more about it. But Redditors are insane. There's this like a sense of entitlement to Redditors. I feel like where it's
Mhm.
like, oh my god, I'm like the fan, and I'm
It's
like, no, babe.
such
It's a little bit. Oh, maybe it was the Big Brother Reddit. Maybe this current season of Big Brother, like the people on Reddit were talking about something. Like I don't know. It's always like Redditors come together and like we're gonna do this. We're gonna make a change.org petition for this, and then you don't realize that there's how small your community actually is.
Mhm.
Like you put yourself in a bubble. I think that's what happens with the Survivor Reddit, and I started getting icked out. If anybody listens to this from the Survivor Reddit, please stop listening. We don't want your listen. The Survivor Reddit icks me out, and I remember what like I got to the point where I was seeing posts, and what really started to annoy me was during Winners at War. There was this joke going around where they would all just say Yule, who was the winner of a Survivor season. He was only one Survivor season, so if once you come across Yule, you'll know. Anyway, was on Winners at War, and the joke was people would just say Yule, and then that would be the post, and then they would like comment Yule, and it would just go over and over and over. They would all just say it, and I went, "These aren't my people. These aren't my
This is
people.
not my community.
This is not my community. I don't feel safe here." Anyways, to get to how I'm doing, because this is about me, I am in my tennis era.
Yay! I love
I
playing
am.
tennis.
I'm getting so mediocre at it, which is great. It's US Open season. I downloaded the US Open app so I can track all my favorite players. And it's just so good. I'm so excited. My sibling Roan and I, we went down to our waterfront yesterday and played at the tennis court. Fun fact, the first time I ever played at that tennis court was when Maddie, our other friend Maddie, and our friend Logan, my friend Logan, Maddie's significant other Logan.
Was Logan there? I thought it was with
Yeah, I think
Lily.
it was 4 of us. Oh, it may have been Lily.
Yeah. I have pictures of this.
You think? Oh, because we went to the tree after and we took pictures in that tree.
Yeah.
It was Lily, not Lily. So our friend Lily, future law lawyer. Me trying to figure out. I was like, what do people go to law school for?
Law.
A future lawyer. Our other friend Maddie. Future correspondent for the news. That's not what you would call it. Well, no, but I mean, like she's gonna blow up. She's gonna be like USA
She's
Today.
She's gonna blow up, Maddie.
Maddie, this is a threat.
Oh my god.
No, but I'm like she's gonna blow up. She's gonna be huge. feature
Yeah.
correspondent for the Stars. Like, and then we have this Maddie. I'm not going to expose your current job, but
Podcaster.
Maddie and Riley, podcast extraordinaires.
Yes.
So it's just like hit on hit on hit. Anyway, that has nothing to do. Oh, that was the first time I played at that tennis court was with you guys.
Wow.
And I think that may have been the last time I played at that tennis court until approximately a week ago.
I love tennis. When you come to visit, we should play.
We should. I'm not great at it. I think I have to get. I think my dad used to play tennis, and I think this weekend we might go to a tennis court near his house, and I might ask him to give me some tips because I'm like I don't think there's a wrong way to play tennis, but I think there's a you can hurt yourself if you're not doing it the right way. Excuse me, the right way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'll just get some tips and tricks maybe. But Rowan and I have been having so much fun. Our current goal is just to be able to like do some rallies. Is that what they're called? Like just go back and volleys. Yeah. Just hit back and forth with each other, which works sometimes, doesn't work other times. And then we're slowly like yesterday near the end of our time there, we were like, okay, let's try to like stay within the lines. That'll be really fun.
Yes.
So we're like learning, but I think it's fun. We go like later in the evening, so there's not a ton of people down there, which is nice. But it's been really fun. I'm in my tennis era.
I love tennis.
This happened last year. Around this time, I got really into the U.S. Open last year because I'm kind of obsessed with Coco Gauff and also Ben Shelton, who I used to confuse for Blake Shelton. I used to say Blake Shelton in the realm of tennis because why do your names sound similar?
Yeah. The main thing I've been seeing about the US Open on TikTok has been that drink that allegedly they get like I could be so wrong with this number, like $10 million in sales from it. Have you seen that?
Like with the tennis ball in it or something?
No, it's it has like little melon balls on a skewer, and it's like kind of pink, and it looks good. Yeah, that. What's it called?
It does look good. It's called the
Deuces,
Your Mama drink.
Something Deuces.
It's called the Your Mama drink.
Maybe that's what you call it, but
that's what it's called.
I don't think that's.
It's called the Honey Deuce cocktail.
Honey Deuce cocktail.
The mint julep of tennis.
I kind of want to try it. I love melon.
Someone like you.
Anyways, thank you.
You're welcome. Well, let's get into the finale.
Yeah.
Talk some Survivor, shall
we?
Exactly. We opened up this finale. It's been such a great season. Can you gag on that elegance that this is the top 4?
I know.
Like, what never would have top 4?
I never would have thought that this would be the top 4.
At the beginning of this season, yeah, I wouldn't have either. This is kind of an eclectic top 4.
Yeah.
We get a little voiceover from the girls. We get a voiceover from Jeff at the beginning of the episode. He's sort of recapping the season for us. Luckily, there is a podcast out now, so you guys don't have to ever listen to Jeff. Why would you want to listen to Jeff explain the premise of the season in 2 minutes when you can listen to 14-hour-long podcasts?
Yeah.
Where we talk about Survivor for approximately 20 minutes of those podcasts.
Yeah. But we hit all the points that you need to know.
Exactly. Like, only the important points.
Only the important points. We really get straight to the point with this podcast.
That's what we're known for, actually. That's our slogan.
That's what our viewers are saying, too.
We get straight to the point.
They say, oh, this is definitely a Survivor podcast. I can tell just from the first few minutes.
So he does his voiceover, and he goes one by one for each person. He says, we have Courtney, the waitress. Denise, the lunch lady. Amanda, the beauty queen. And Todd, the flight attendant. I think we, in the year 2024, have really shifted our views of what's important in life. Because imagine in 2024, we are characterizing Survivor players by their jobs.
Yeah, I don't like that. But
which I do feel like is somewhat. I think in 2024, especially in this, it's like, how do those jobs? What real life traits do those jobs give you? I think it's more the vibe that we
Mm-hmm.
think about an association of players and jobs. But like, imagine being branded as the lunch lady or the waitress.
I know. I get what they were doing with it because it did make it feel kind of like, oh, we just plucked these random people who have these lives and now they're on Survivor. Like, I got that. I kind of think the show at this point feels like in present day. It almost just feels a little bit too production-y, where I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
think I care what these people do for a living. And like,
Okay.
it feels just more like back to the basics with like the old Survivor, where it kind of like fits in a little better.
Definitely. I feel one thing that I have appreciated the most about watching this season, and okay, next week, everybody, we're going to talk about the reunion, which the reunion for Survivor China is crazy. We'll talk a little bit about our overall thoughts on the season. We'll go into that. That'll be next episode, closing thoughts on everything. So tune in there. But, and I'm sure we can talk more about this there, but one thing I've really enjoyed this season is seeing how little I feel like production is involved.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like basically what you were just saying, what I thought about while you were talking was I noticed we'll talk about the final immunity challenge later, but after the final immunity challenge, one thing I noted was that now in the new era, like Jeff is consistently asking players how they feel at the challenges. He's like, how does it feel that you just won this challenge? How does it feel that you lost this challenge? And I'm kind of like well, obviously I noticed that he didn't do that a ton this season. I think that's a very new era thing. But I'm like, I kind of like not hearing from the contestants right after the challenge. Because
Mm-hmm.
part of it seems a little like obviously the contestants aren't going to give their true feelings on the subject because they're being watched by everybody else. Like if you just won the final immunity challenge, you're not going to be like, yes, thank God I beat out all those ugly people. I won. I won. I won. You're going to be demure. You're going to be very demure, very
Very
cutesy,
mindful.
very mindful with your response. You're going to be like, oh, this is a really important win for me. I'm really glad I got to I'm glad I have that spot in the top three.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't need to hear from, like, I don't need Jeff to try to produce that's what it is. I don't need Jeff to produce every segment. I don't need
Mm-hmm.
him to try to make everything a thing. Like, just let
Yes.
them react how they want to react in the moment. Let them be who they need to be.
And
Be who you are!
it still makes great TV without it.
Exactly.
I
Like,
don't think you need
they're
it.
still gonna give raw emotions, whether or not you. No,
Try
okay,
and
but
like draw it
now,
out of them.
now, do we think? Let's flash back Survivor 46.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do we think Liz has her freak out moment if Jeff doesn't ask her what's wrong?
Okay, that's such a great callback. Um, I don't know.
Because maybe not there, maybe she doesn't blow up there, but maybe she blows up at camp or
I think
something.
she would have had a little freak out no matter what.
Just, it would have been varied.
Yes. I don't know if it would have been right there the way it was, but
Should I message her on Instagram real
do
quick and
you
ask,
think
had Jeff not asked you, would you have?
No, because I think that's a good question.
Well, something to consider. Anyway, we'll get to the immunity challenge later. We'll get there later. We're back from camp. We're back from tribal. PG was just voted out. And one thing, sorry to reflect again one more time on this intro. One thing that Survivor does do right every season, I feel like, is their intros into the finale.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing gets me more hyped up for a finale than a Survivor intro for their finale episode. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my god, yes, relive the season, get hyped up, talk about the finalists. It feels good.
It does. Like, what a journey we've been on, even as a viewer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flash forward, 17 years.
What?
Yeah, 17 years.
Oh, to
It's been
present
17
day.
years.
Present day.
Yeah. I was like, wait, has it really been 17 years? And I went, wait, yes, it has. The theme of this season has been me trying to figure out
Math.
consistently since the first episode the math of when this was filmed to the day that we're recording this. Anyway, we are back. PG's tribal. It was sad, whatever. But Final Four, so exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But like PG's not there. It's okay.
Yeah. Sorry, PJ.
I feel like we low key, and I don't know if it's pretty late to sort of notice this. Do you, in fact, feel like that we kind of have a group of complainers?
Yes.
We've talked about this quite a bit this season. This is definitely a group of people who probably complain by themselves just in daily life. But add on top of that, you're surrounded by other complainers. It kind of just like
Us on this podcast.
literally.
Yeah. It's a lot.
I would argue that John Robert was a complainer. James was a complainer. I would say Todd, Courtney, and Denise are complainers.
Yeah.
I would say Dave is a complainer. I would say PG is a complainer.
Yeah, that's like really what they were looking for when casting this season. It's like
We're complainers.
Yeah.
They're like, it's gonna be monsoon season in China. Who can we get the worst possible people to bring into this sort of environment?
And I like that extent of the production. Because that's fun.
Yes. The production said, let's pick the worst people and make great TV.
Let's make this as messy as possible.
I went to the office of the head Disney Channel producer, and I said, let's make history. And that's what we did. Do you know the clip I'm talking about?
What's their name?
You got it.
Sunny with a Chance.
Jesse.
Oh, Debbie Ryan.
Right.
Wait, no, because why are they always the same people to me?
I know you did not just say that.
I said it.
Oh, but if Demi Lovato starred in Only Murderers in the Penthouse. Only Sidekicks in the Penthouse.
Debbie Ryan's not on that. That's Selena
No,
Gomez.
but Demi Lovato is.
Are you saying that Demi Lovato?
I'm saying if Demi Lovato starred in that movie, would you remember her more than Ryan Debbie?
What movie? Only
Murders in the Penthouse. Guys, I think I just had a stroke.
Because that's also not the name, and it's not a movie.
Anyway, let's clock back in. So, the group is hungry. One thing they're complaining about is that they're hungry. That's this episode's sort of topic of choice. They're hungry. They're sick and tired of Chinese food, I guess. They're sick and tired of not eating one, but then they're sick and tired of the Chinese food, basically. They're like, I want something else. I want something different.
Which I can get. I get that. Because you just want like comfort food. You want something that feels familiar to you.
Something home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. And guess what, Maddie?
Yeah.
Their prayers are going to be answered.
I know. God was listening.
And
in production.
Gave him a challenge. It was their reward challenge. As Jeff to quote Jeff, they're going to tackle our version of the Great Wall of China.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, what?
That's plywood.
That's plywood, babe. The challenge, there's it's a pretty simple obstacle. It seems like they have this bridge that they have to build the puzzle piece, and not build the puzzle piece, find the puzzle piece for the right spot, cross the bridge, grab the puzzle pieces, climb the Great Wall of China, solve the puzzle. Pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
You would think. Not really. I didn't tell you what the reward is for. The reward is for food. It's for
pizza,
food.
And beer, and soft drinks, and brownies.
And let's talk about this. Yeah. Jeff says the two advantages. Comfort in food, and then and then the calories.
Yeah.
Which will give you an advantage for tomorrow.
Kind of misleading.
It was also giving, I wouldn't necessarily say Survivor Pizza is comfort to me.
No, because what were all those toppings?
I was like, if you don't just give me a cheese pizza.
Yeah, or like even just pepperoni. Why are there whole cherry tomatoes?
Like, it's giving when I studied abroad in Ghana, this would happen sometimes where you would order like something you would think is one thing and then they bring it out and it's not. And you're like, oh, there's something that happened. I can't remember what the dish was, but it would happen a lot with like potato products. Like you'd think you're getting like French fries, but then they'd be like cut up, like they wouldn't be cut up like French fries, and you're like, oh, what is this? So I think like maybe they went somewhere and was like, will you give us an American pizza? And they're like,
Yeah.
yes. Somewhere in China, and they're like, yes, of course we will.
In rural, remote
Rural China,
China.
yeah, and they're like, of course, that's what we do. That's what our specialty is, and that's what they give you, and you're like, okay, slay.
Yeah.
It's for pizza, and that got the girl excited.
Amanda
They wanted the
specifically.
brownies. Amanda really wanted the pizza. Todd was like, give me those brownies. It was a good sort of vibe. It was kind of a blow, not necessarily a blow, because they all made it to the puzzle at the end, but Todd and Amanda were quickly able to finish the first sort of bridge puzzle, which was good. Denise and Courtney kind of got left behind. Amanda ends up coming through, though, and wins the final reward challenge, which is exciting for her. This is a pretty big reward to win at this point of the game.
I was so happy for her.
Let's break this down, though. Amanda is given 3 options by Jeff. Option 1, Amanda can go on the reward by herself. Option 2, she can take 1 person. Or option 3, she can take 2 people and just leave 1 person behind. This is a crazy position for production to put Amanda in.
Diabolical.
That is the literal word to describe it. This is diabolic. This is diabetes.
Yeah.
This is diabolical. This is crazy.
What would you have done?
Okay, so I was thinking about this. What would have I done if I was in
What
my?
would have I done?
What have I would done if I was you? What would you do, John Quinones?
Have I showed you the little thing I did at college?
Yes.
For our listeners, my roommate and I printed out the "Hi, I'm John Quinones" from "What Would You Do," and we print out a bunch of pictures of him, and we printed.
This
out
is when it
quote.
was trending on TikTok. Like
yes,
it was like the meme on TikTok. Yes.
And we put it all over our dorm bathroom toilet stall. So when you shut the door behind you, I'm John Quinones. What would you do? It's just staring at you.
My favorite printing meme that got put up in the dorm where I lived was right after Ashtray died in Euphoria. Somebody made a memorial for Ashtray in our common space, which was literally insane to walk into. I was like, this is crazy.
Have I told you about the prank that I wanted to do but never got to because we went home? This is diabolical. My roommate and I, our plan was to purchase plastic, like, fake teeth and then leave them, like, on, like, the shower floor.
Oh, that's wild.
And, like, in random spots, like, in the sink.
Ew.
So then it just looks like teeth. But it's fake.
You would have got one of those mass emails from not even from Res Life Baby, the head of,
but like that's harmless.
The health building is going to come out and say, yeah, we're going to need to figure this out because okay, going back, another diabolical thing. Let's talk about this choice that Amanda had to make. I think if it was me playing the game, I think I would have been selfish. Okay, because I think it's so scenario based. The thing is if I was just out there with just 3 random people, I probably would have been like, I'm going by myself. But the problem is Amanda was out there with Todd, and I just know if Todd was mad at Amanda, and even though he says otherwise in this episode, he says that he would never have flipped on Amanda. He has not been lying to Amanda.
I don't believe him.
I don't believe him. And I feel like if she had not picked Todd to go, Todd would have went back, especially if he was left with the majority of people, would have went back and been like, we need to vote Amanda out. Like, she's going to be too strong if she doesn't win, blah, blah, blah. So then I'm like, okay, maybe she did make the right choice, because I don't think I would have taken 2 people.
No, I actually think she made the correct choice. Because I went
in her situation.
Because I would never not take anyone, because that's 3v1. You don't know what the outcome of the immunity challenge is going to be. I would not leave Todd with anyone because I don't trust him enough to, like, what's he gonna say when you're gone?
Yeah.
I wouldn't take out of them. I think choosing Denise would have been a mistake because Denise already knows she's on the outs so obviously. I don't think you like need to win her over by doing literally anything but telling her, "Hey, I'll vote with you."
Spoiler alert, Amanda doesn't win her anyway. She
It,
tries to
ex-
make it easier.
exactly. Like this is Denise's problem, not Amanda's necessarily. And then I wouldn't take Courtney because why would Amanda need to like win any points with Courtney, really? Like, I don't think it would work. I don't think Courtney's brain works that way, and that pizza and beer would have swayed her in any way, in my opinion. And so I think keeping Todd close to you is the safest option.
I agree, but that also pisses me off. Why did you take somebody at to the final four that has the temper of a child?
Yeah.
Like, why would you take somebody to the final four where you're in the position where you're like, if I don't keep this person happy, they could flip on me? Baby, you should have voted him out.
Yes. Completely.
Obviously, she should have voted him out. Spoiler alert! Ends up being the winner of our season.
Yeah.
I guess it's crazy. I don't know why we didn't. Usually, we start on the last two finale episodes we've done. We usually start the episode. We say a thank you, or not a thank you, a congratulations to our winner. Congratulations,
Mm-hmm.
Todd, 17 years ago for winning Survivor China.
Yeah. Major congratulations.
Major congratulations, my dear. You are the
Congratulations.
winner of this week's challenge. So it was a weird. I think this is a decision that is heinous and should never be made. Like, that is such a shitty position to put Amanda in.
Yeah.
So shitty.
Especially it felt even more odd in a season where I don't feel like we've had a lot of like big production things like this. I feel like
Yeah.
it's normally been pretty balanced or like expected. Like you get to take one person. It's not like you're making really big decisions. So doing it now felt really like, whoa, this
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah. So Todd and Amanda end up getting to eat and they're talking. And Amanda is not holding back. She is sitting there with Todd and is fully like, I don't really trust you. And I feel like you've been lying to me.
Yeah, she's really good at being direct.
Okay, let's talk about it at the end of that. We'll give our feelings about the overall episode. I think this was a really good episode for Amanda.
I think so
I think
too.
she ultimately fumbles Final Tribal Council in a way that needs to be studied because crazy. But I think both of these cycles, the Final Four and then the final, like, I think she handled the Final Four cycle really well.
Yeah. She felt in
She wasn't
control.
over promising, and it's unfortunate that Denise took their conversation later in this episode. We'll get to it here in a second. It's crazy that Denise took it in a way that Amanda was making a promise, because I didn't necessarily take it that way. And so it sucked that happened. But you're right. I think Amanda's key part of her game is her directness, the way she communicates with people. She's always been that way. Remember when she was with PG?
Yeah,
It was her and
that's what I
PG
was
at camp.
thinking about. I
Yeah,
know it feels like it comes out more in these one-on-one situations though. And I kind of like
yeah.
not to jump ahead, but I kind of feel like this might have been part of her downfall at the final tribal council. She's not as great at like articulating that to a group. It's more like one-on-one she's really good at being like, this is how I feel, this is how it is.
Okay, I'm gonna write my thought down now because I know I will forget by the time we get to there. But I don't want to talk council because we're not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get there.
Okay.
So they talk, and then there's like a confessional from Todd where he's like, this is crazy, this is a weird feeling for me to be in, because I have been nothing but truthful and honest to Amanda. She's always been my final two.
But how is she supposed to know that?
How is she supposed to know that when his moves have been actively like
Befriending people and lying to them and then backstabbing
exactly?
them. Yeah. I think she has every right to feel the way she does.
I think she has. He's played, and we get to it. Denise and Courtney, everybody this episode, basically everybody, says that Todd has played a sly. It's the title of the episode.
He's a sly sucker or something.
Yes, that is Courtney talking about Todd.
And it's to the point where, as an audience member, I don't feel like he's being truthful even when he says he is in confessionals, where I feel like he's lying. Like, I don't trust him.
He just gives me the vibe that... I can't say this because I do this. You just lie for fun.
Yes, and I think that's...
Unfortunately, is me coded.
Yeah.
But it's just like...
Yeah.
Right. It's unfortunate. I was gonna say about Amanda Todd lying. As much as I appreciate the realization or like the calling out of Todd being a liar, it means ultimately it means nothing to me if you guys aren't gonna do anything about it.
Yeah.
Denise and Amanda specifically, like you guys, your perception of him is correct, and it's the perception everybody else has. I think the problem is it isn't really until much late. It's not much late. It's not until the late point of the season where people start comparing their notes on top.
Yes.
And I think at that point it was too late because everybody had worked out their final with Todd in it.
Mm-hmm.
Todd was always going to be the person in their final threes because people trusted Todd, but it wasn't until late into the season they started realizing that Todd really isn't the most trustworthy person.
Yeah.
So that's that. They we come back. Well, we don't come. We peer into Denise and Courtney. They're obviously upset that they didn't get picked. Devastating, one might say. We start to get Denise's sob story, and we get it a couple times this episode. A couple times here and there. We start with Denise. Denise is like, in school I was always picked last, but I'm also like, ma'am, you're 40 years old. Like, school was a long time ago type situation. Well, it was. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's okay.
My inner Courtney's coming out right now.
Yeah, I have a quote from Courtney from later in the episode about.
We'll get to the scene. But Denise's sob story, and she admits that she doesn't care really about being at the bottom because she ultimately just wanted to be included.
Mm-hmm.
Which is so heartbreaking.
It's so hard to watch this.
I'm like, girl, I get it, and I'm happy that you were included, but I'm like, you have to have some self-respect. I'm sorry, but like, you can't settle for the being at the bottom of something. Like, yes, you want to be included, but if you really think about it, you were picked in the top 16 people in this casting pool. Denise, you were picked.
Yeah.
And you've been consistently picked. People like Denise. Nobody hates Denise.
No, and that's why she's still there. She is that member that keeps, like, it's
people
Denise.
Trust her and they want her around. Like,
Yeah.
There was never a point, never like a Courtney or a Todd or a PG or a Jean Robert or a James even. Like, there was never a moment where people were like, I want you out because I don't like you as a person.
Yeah.
That never happened for Denise. People like you. You just need to have that self-respect for yourself and not settle for things you don't deserve. You don't deserve to be at the bottom of an alliance.
Yeah.
Queen
Queen,
of
pick that crown up. Get Denise on the podcast.
That's what I've always said. The Todd and Amanda come back, and it's like they catch up a little bit. Todd is talking to Denise in the shelter, and they're talking about their final three. What's going to happen? And Todd's like, I'm a little scared. It's going to be girl power. I'm going to be scared that they're going to want you to flip on me, blah, blah, blah. And Courtney's fully eavesdropping on this conversation because she hears her name being brought up. Can we just talk about, this has been one of my favorite storylines of this season, the fact that Courtney is a great eavesdropper.
Yeah, she is.
She just be listening, but then she's so quiet. Like, she doesn't move from where she's standing, and nobody even like can tell she's there. And it's what a great little skill.
Yeah. I bet that'd be fun to watch as, like, if you were on the season and you pick up on things like that. Like, oh my God, Courtney really heard everything all the time.
All the
And,
time.
like, she didn't really do anything about any of it.
No,
She
but
definitely heard it.
she definitely did hear it. Like, it was definitely heard. She said, copy. Next.
Yeah.
Next conversation. The, I think I wrote this note because this is where I was watching, Courtney. Courtney has a confessional after she eavesdrops, and she's like, Todd is a snake. I think this is where she makes her comment about him being like slippery.
Yeah.
Um, and I think obviously we end up having Todd as our winner, but I think where Amanda, arguably, I think this was Amanda had a really great end game. I think Todd's end game really sucked.
Yes.
I think this is the messiest part of his game by far.
Yeah.
We talked about this either last episode or the episode before, where I feel like Todd started getting cocky.
Yeah.
And started to let his walls down a little bit, which I think he starts letting his walls down, and this goes to the conversation we were just having, where like people start realizing too late into the season that Todd is a problem and like he needs to get out, but at that point he's already cemented himself into all these plans. And I think that if he had done this earlier, I think there would have been more repercussions for his actions, but they just don't. He was just messy. He was just like saying lies I don't think he needed to say, and obviously it ends up working out. So like I can only critique it. We can only critique it so much because whatever he ends up doing ends up well. I would honestly argue his winning thing was his final tribal council.
Yeah.
So his final tribal council honestly outweighs the way that he goes about this end game, but it was messy. He's been a messy man.
And I mean, obviously some of the jury sees it, but a lot of the jury didn't see messy Todd. And I would say the people that witnessed the messiness the most are the people closest to him that are like still in the game. So really it didn't impact him.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you vote Denise out. I would say Denise. PG, I don't necessarily maybe didn't see that much of the messiness. So it really probably is Denise, Amanda, and Courtney.
Yeah.
And Denise only has one day to really talk to the jury and tell her. And Denise isn't, I don't think she'd throw Todd under the bus like that. So, well, that happens. Todd's playing a messy game. They wake up, they're doing rites of passage, which is such a fun callback. It was really interesting watching them though, because none of that original yellow tribe is in the finale, and so Todd, Courtney, Amanda, and Denise fully did not interact with like 4 of these people ever, and so they were just like, oh, chicken, like what a crazy guy.
Yeah.
I didn't really take many notes towards this because I was like, there's nothing a lot that's really added. Like, I was noticing that Denise was barely talking.
Courtney was talking a lot.
Courtney was talking a lot. But one thing I wanted to note was Dave during his flashback moment says that he wanted to be helpful around camp and really likable. That was his goal. And I was like, not only did you cause hell around the camp, you were not likable.
No one liked you.
Nobody liked you.
Yeah.
But it was a sweet thing. I wish I mean, I don't miss the rites of passage. It's kind of just like a filler part of the episode for me. I think it's more because like, sorry, I thought somebody broke into our house at 10 p.m. No, my brother ordered DoorDash.
You guys get DoorDash now?
We do.
Wow.
Anyways, I was going to say, I've fully lost my train of thought. We were talking about rites of passage. I don't miss it. I think it's cute.
Yeah.
This isn't like the thing from like OG Survivor that I would be like dying to have back.
No, not at all. Because like sorry chicken, don't really care about what you have to say in your few minutes of screen time.
Wow.
Sorry.
A little controversial. Oh, I also wrote down, um, PG said in hers that she got her strength from Mother China, and that kind of got me emotional though.
Yeah.
She was like, it was really important for me to play here in China, like being Chinese. And she said, I got my strength here from Mother China, and I was like, um, yeah. So then they basically walk their way to the final immunity challenge,
Mm-hmm.
and baby, they're balancing China and China.
Yeah, I loved it.
It was a fun challenge. I like when they do these little balancing things at the end. I really like it as a final immunity challenge because it's really like
Focus.
focus. Like you just it's basically one thing is your will and
Yeah.
your balance. Like you have to focus. The problem is you can't focus too much on like not hurting because if you focus too much on not hurting, then you're gonna lose your balance. But if you focus too much on balancing, yeah.
Um, I had a comment about this. So I would say a big factor of what played into this was the heat and the sun as well. Has Amanda
Hmm.
always had this hat? And why did she get to wear it during this challenge when, like, I feel like the sun and the heat, like I just said, were a big factor in it? And her being shaded like that seems like kind of a big advantage to me.
Oh wow. Okay, I typed this in to Google.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, somebody 4 years ago posted on the Survivor subreddit
Oh, our
and said
favorite.
Survivor China Final Immunity Challenge. Is the Final Immunity Challenge of Survivor China? The Final Four had to stack cups and plates. It was really hot out, and contestants were dripping with sweat. Amanda, however, was allowed to wear this hat that provided her
Yeah.
face with shade, and she went on to win the challenge. Is this unfair? Um, Only one person replied. It has zero upvotes and downvotes, which just lets me know that this was downvoted a couple times. Oh, five more replies. Okay. Someone said the hat isn't why she won. She won because she flipped the bowls upside down.
Mm, I don't think that is it. It wasn't really like a balance problem. It's like Denise just kind of gave out at the end. Is there anything else?
No, the original poster, the OP in Reddit, um, you if you're familiar, responded and was like, she only flipped the last two upside down. Like it doesn't really give her that much of an advantage.
I would argue it didn't give
Um,
her like any advantage at that point.
and the person someone else responded, Amanda was good at challenges, particularly endurance ones. She was up against three people who were bad at them. I think it's more likely that she was less wobbly because she was better at the challenge, not because of her hat. Having a sun out of your eyes doesn't somehow make your arms stronger or more stable, but it does shade you from the sun.
It shades you, and I would argue looking at the white plates in the beating sun, having shade over your eyes, I would say that does help. You're not like squinting and straining the way that others are. I wanted to comment on it because I was surprised that she got to wear that.
I think are so valid. I hadn't even noticed that, and I didn't even that was something people were talking about. Um, but yeah, I mean, I would agree with you, and I would agree with the OP of this post. That I do think it gave an advantage. I think what people are talking about because I remember Peridia made a video where he talked about like hacks to Survivor challenges, and I think I don't know if it was mentioned in that specific video, but in one of Peridium's videos, he talks about Amanda flipping the bowls, and I think that more people talk about that being an advantage because it was like a cool trick that she did in the moment that was
Mm.
like unexpected. Nobody else thought of it obviously during the challenge, and it probably did help her win, like having a more solid structure at that late into the tower. um but I would agree that having a hat on probably also some form of advantage.
Yeah.
So spoiler alert, Amanda does end up winning the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
She got the comfort in the pizza, the advantage in the calories, slash her hat, slash flipping the bowls.
And she won the last immunity challenge, so she's won
Yeah.
3 in a row.
Yo, I'm telling you, get into my girl Amanda. She kind of ate the challenge up. Todd drops pretty quickly. Courtney, let's be honest. love you, Courtney. That was not. She
Not
was
your
not going to win
challenge.
that. And I low key did get secondhand embarrassment. Because during the challenge, Denise tries to make a deal with Amanda. Because Denise at that point knew she was not lasting much longer.
Yeah.
It was like, please, let's not vote each other out. I'll let you win immunity if you don't vote me.
That is
And
crazy.
I think Amanda kind of did a good job. Like,
Oh, yeah.
was like, you don't want to give up that easily, do you, Denise? Like,
and like,
keep
you're not
going.
a quitter.
You're not a quitter. I think it was a good way to approach it. And again, I think Amanda has good communication skills one. Like, I think that was a on your feet way to respond to that was a nice way to approach it.
And like giving her a hug at the end, like, hey, like, like once again, you're not a quitter, like, way to stick with it. I think that was like totally, I think that cooled everything down. So,
Yeah. So Amanda wins.
mm-hmm.
Exciting stuff. And she basically has to pick whether or not she's going to side with Courtney and Todd and vote Denise out, or possibly vote Todd with Denise and make it a tie, which would be really interesting, really scary fun. They get back to camp and Denise is really using her sob story. She is pushing the narrative. She's like, she said, you, Todd, and Courtney have things to go back to. You guys have new things for life. I'm going back to being a lunch lady. Like, I'm going home.
To make
That's
$7
it.
a day.
Yeah, like I need this more than anybody.
It was funny though when she was like, Todd is gonna have a career in LA. Amanda is gonna have a fashion line.
Like, this is crazy. Where is this
I
going
think these
from?
are dreams.
Yeah, not
Not
necessarily
necessarily
like
like what they're going back to.
exactly. This is where we get Courtney's crazy line.
Courtney's going off on this. Oh my.
Courtney looks at Todd and is like, basically says, this isn't welfare, this is Survivor. Which is insane to say.
So mean.
And then that follows that up with, she doesn't deserve to win because she sucks at life.
Which is horrible.
Crazy
Horrible
thing to say. Crazy.
Saying she sucks at life is just
Insane.
giving like spoiled 20-year-old in New York. Like exactly what she is. Sorry, but that's
literally
insane.
that's what it was giving. It was giving somebody that gets some help from their parents to live in New York.
Your British dad.
I did write down though that I don't think Courtney was wrong, but I do think the approach,
the delivery,
the delivery was not right. But I don't think Courtney was wrong.
I don't think Denise sucks at life though.
Oh, definitely, I don't think.
I think that line is like completely wrong. But
but the wealth. I was like, Denise, you don't deserve to get to the end just because your story is
harder, or like you've had a more difficult life than others.
And this is something that's happened quite a few times in this era of Survivor. Like, you have the conversation, the season before, I think, in not Exile, it was not Cook Islands. What was it? Exile Island? I think it was no, Cook Islands, Fiji, Survivor Fiji. With Dreams was a player who was homeless. And he makes it to the final tribal council, but it's this whole thing. I'm not going to go too much in detail, but there was like, they used to do this car reward where you would win a car.
Oh yeah.
And Dreams needed a car because he was homeless, and so this guy, one of the other players, tries to use that as a way to was like, don't vote me out and I'll give you the car. And then Dreams was like, deal. And then Dreams ends up voting him out because that guy that said that was like the one to win. And so then it was a whole thing, and people were like, how could you do that to, the guy's name was Yao Man. They're like, how could you do that to Yao Man? And Dreams was like, I had to vote him out. But now, obviously, in the year 2024, we're reflecting on it. And Yao Man has reflected on it. And Yao Man was like, I was a bad person for doing that.
Also, Yao Man comes back.
Yes. Next season 16. Yao Man has reflected on that in current day and is like, that was really douchey of me to do. I should not have done that. Like, why would I use the fact that he needed a car to survive? So, But yeah, I just don't think I agree with Courtney and the again, I don't agree with how she said it, but the wealth like this isn't welfare, this is Survivor. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Amanda and Denise are talking. Amanda's basically like Denise is like, please vote with. And Amanda's like, I just don't know. And Amanda it lays it out on the line, which I think this is the right way to approach it. Amanda was like, this is what you're up against. Todd and I have had a final two deal since day one. This is what you're up against. We have been working together since day one. And Denise is like, okay, I got that. And Amanda was like, I have to think about it. I don't think Amanda promised Denise anything.
I
Did she?
thought she did. I
Hmm.
where is it? Okay, so Riley and I were not good at communicating where
Hmm.
one would take notes versus the other, so I also did take notes on this part. And I wrote down that Amanda says that she guarantees that she won't vote for Denise tonight. Like, I have that in my notes. I think she did say that she wouldn't. And then I didn't have time to go back and
Yeah,
double
that sounds
check,
right.
but I felt like, which we'll get to in a moment with the moment at Tribal, I felt like she was just being called out on it, and then she was like, like flustered. But she definitely did say, I guarantee that I won't vote for you tonight.
Um,
I mean, I wrote it
I'm-
down.
I think you're right. I think on reflection, I'm like, yeah, that sounds.
I don't think she said, I promise I will not vote for you, but she says, like, I guarantee I will
She
not vote for
basically
you.
implies it.
And she says she guarantees it. I think she
Um,
did.
I'm just gonna while we're talking, I'm gonna pull it up on my computer
Okay.
and see if maybe I can get done.
So,
But
yeah. It was. Yeah. Amanda just going back and forth of like, I would rather, at this point, potentially sit next to Denise, even though I don't want to,
yeah.
versus having to backstab Todd.
So that was her decision. They ended up going to tribal. Can you maybe you can take it over from here? Maybe explain because I kind of missed this interaction between Todd and Amanda.
Okay. So it comes up of like how Amanda will vote, and then Denise is like, she promised me she's not going to vote for me tonight. So, and then Amanda says something along the lines of like, well, I never said, like, I said I wouldn't vote for you, but I didn't say I specifically wouldn't vote for you tonight. Like, I never promised that. And then Todd has this like reaction to it. And
Mm.
then he's like, wow, I okay, he has a reaction. Jeff is like, that was a big reaction from Todd. What was that about? And then he was like, I was basically reacting for Denise because to hear Amanda say that would be like crazy and like that would shock me. And basically, like, kind of calls out Amanda for he says he didn't mean for it to come out this way, but he kind of like insinuated that she's making promises to people about voting one way, but she's like backstabbing them kind of, and like doesn't actually care about the promises she's making.
Which I don't think that's necessarily true.
I don't think it's true either, but I don't think Denise did say that Amanda promised that she wouldn't vote for her tonight, and obviously that is not what Amanda wants to hear you say in front of everyone. So
Yeah.
I don't think Amanda had a great reaction to it either. And it's really unfortunate because, as we said before, like, this was really Amanda's episode, but it feels like she just continued to have these like bad jury moments and things like this. Like, she didn't have the best like catch after or like response to Denise's comment, but she also like came across looking bad in front of the jury, and this was like just the beginning of that.
I think where we say Amanda's pitfall in her game is that she doesn't know how to talk in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
Todd strives. Strives? Is that a word?
Thrives.
Thrives.
Strives is a word. Like you want to do.
Oh, but he
well.
thrives because he
thrives.
actually does.
Yeah.
He thrives talking in front of.
Yes.
And so I think that let's get into it in front of Trump Council when we get there.
Okay. So really, that's the big moment that happens at this tribal. And then Denise does get voted out. It's sad.
So I don't feel bad.
It's sad.
It's sad, yes.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. It is sad, especially, like, I can't imagine being on Survivor and being voted off right before the, Final Tribal Council. That has to be devastating.
Yeah.
But you've had so many opportunities, and you knew you were at the bottom, and I don't feel bad for you.
So many. I do not feel bad for her. Okay. We get back to camp. And Amanda's really mad at Todd for the comments that he made at Tribal to make her look bad in front of the jury. Amanda says that she meant that she had Denise's back, but she didn't necessarily mean that she wasn't going to vote for her today. And Todd's reaction and comments hurt her image and says that she's sad to be in the end with Todd, who's a sneaky liar, and lots of other things.
I think Amanda knows. I think part of this frustration about what happened, but I think you also have to know, like God damn it, there's no way. Like, I just lost.
Yeah.
And she
knows that. I think, like, Denise is obviously gutted and is also like, okay, well, Todd's gonna win.
Yeah.
Like, why did you do that? It was crazy. I would also be upset if I was Amanda. Period.
Okay, I just got to the point. She does in fact say, I guarantee I will not vote for you tonight.
Yes, she says it. So, I'm sorry, Amanda, but that was used against you. But
then she says, I cannot guarantee they
won't.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
which is like, girl.
Exactly. So, it's messy. Yeah. Todd says that he genuinely didn't mean to come off the way he did in this situation, so he feels bad, and he's also like, why are we not celebrating that we're the final three? Because Amanda's just like, I'm going to bed, you guys can celebrate. Which is fair. I think I would also be pretty upset in this situation as well. Just like knowing that you lost, and like it would be tough. It would be a tough moment. But we wake up the next morning and it's day 39.
Wake up in the morning. Do we know if she's changing that lyric too?
I think she said she is.
Wake up in the morning saying FP Diddy. I think that's what it is.
Okay. Well, they wake up and they have a little morning feast for being the final three on the last morning.
Girl, to the Survivor producers, if I am ever in that
don't make me cook the food.
Don't make me cook the fucking food. Yeah. Damn.
It's hot out.
It's hot. Dirty ass dishes. There were flies surrounding their pancake mix.
Yeah. And like, I'm saying it's hot enough out that, like, if they cooked bacon within the last hour, it's gonna be fine. Like, I just don't think it's that difficult. So they're cooking the food, they're celebrating, and Courtney says she feels like she should get some credit for being from the jury for making it this far, which is funny. They sorry.
Sorry, I had to laugh.
They are lighting a fire at camp, and Courtney, okay, post meal, they're lighting a little fire at camp, and Courtney says that she's excited to burn Jean Robert's $500 Louis Vuittons. Did he wear Louis Vuitton shoes to Survivor?
Well, infamous storyline. I have to get back closer to my mic. Sorry. Infamous storyline. Survivor Nicaragua. There was a guy on that season that wore really expensive, like $1,000 shoes onto Survivor. That might be it was definitely, I think it was more than $500, maybe less than 1,000, guessing game. Mm-hmm. And this girl got really mad at him, and she proceeded to fill his shoes with sand and drop them in the ocean.
I love that.
Yeah, I don't think it's crazy. That Jean Robert may have done.
Okay, that's it's still crazy. But
Oh no, it's still crazy. But
then we
when
hear
you're a
from
poker player,
you got money
play
to
the
spare.
exactly. That's what I've always said.
So then we hear from Todd, and he says that he is a good shot to win because he played hard and the jury should recognize that. And then Amanda says that she really feels like she has a third of a chance at this point, and she plays a good game.
That is a
She knows she's
crazy.
not gonna
That is a
win.
crazy thing. I know I have a third of a chance.
That, yeah, she knew at that point, it felt like. So, let's get to Final Tribal Council, shall we? We start with opening statements. I'm also going to kind of run through this and then we can comment on things as we go because there's a lot here. Amanda starts with her opening statement. She says she feels blessed to be sitting there. She came into the game wanting to align with someone right away, and that happened, and then it evolved over time to try and play a more physical game in challenges and stuff. She apologizes for voting against James, John Robert, and Frosty as well. Todd says thank you to the jury for getting him there. He says he had to lie, backstab, and play hard, and he knew he had to play strategically to get to the end because being physically strong was not something that he was gonna ever be able to win at. With his little petite frame, he's just, what is it? I'm feeling frail. And then Courtney says she came in with no strategy, didn't know anything about Survivor, and she was surprised to make it to the end. She had to work hard to make the game work for her, but she made good alliances and even won immunity once. So, people need to give her credit even if you don't like her personality or personality. Then we hear from the jury. So I'm just going to go in order.
This jury was messy.
Yeah. So James goes first, and he asks Courtney for a good moment that she had, and she says the first challenge they did together when they won, and she was a part of that, which I thought that was interesting, because I feel like there's been other really fun moments. And so her to, like, be like, the first one was fun.
I think it was a good answer, though, because I think her rooting her answer in tribe unity, she was like, I had fun with all of you.
Which I bet everyone was like, I actually don't believe you, but
they said, I think you're pathological, babe.
John Robert then stands up and says he has a dilemma because he doesn't like Courtney, and he said that he swore to not vote for Todd or Amanda if they backstabbed him, which they did exactly that. Courtney says then they basically just have to, like, explain their game or whatever. And Courtney says that she outlasted, and outplayed Jean Robert, and she even won an immunity, which he didn't.
Did you win an immunity, Jean Robert? One of the most iconic Final Tribal Council responses, in my opinion.
So good. I love that Courtney won immunity once. That is just incredible.
I mean, did you win an immunity, Jean Robert?
Amanda says that she didn't want to vote for Jean Robert, but too many other people were already going to vote for him, so she kind of just had to. She didn't really have a choice, which, not a great answer, which we will see that from Amanda basically the rest of this as well.
God, I've just, like, Amanda played so good to have such a shitty Final Tribal Council performance.
Yeah.
Ugh.
To speak my truth, I wanted Amanda to win.
Well.
But
I guess I'll just... Sorry.
Todd says that John Robert was being strategic and placing ideas in other people's heads. So Todd had to get rid of his biggest strategic threat over James, who was the biggest perceived threat, because that was the most dangerous to Todd in his plan. He can't have other people putting ideas in everyone else's heads. That's Todd's job. And this answer shuts him up. And everyone is just laughing and hollering and honestly flabbergasted at this because allegedly no one can make Jean Robert shut up.
I think this is also something that's unfortunately been featured in a Peridium video. I think Peridium ranks Todd's Final Tribal Council performance as one of like the top 5 Final Tribal Council performances,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Peridium is like, this is one of the best answers ever given to a question, because Todd probably doesn't necessarily believe that Jean Robert was one of his strategic like
Mm.
adversaries, but Todd does know that Jean Robert likes to have his ego stroked. So
Yeah.
like, just saying, you're so smart, Jean Robert. Like, I needed to get you up because you're so smart.
Perfect. Yes. And I think that got him just so much like credit from the jury
Yeah.
too. Watching that happen, like, okay, the power Todd has with his words is actually crazy. Um PG goes next and asks Todd to explain how he didn't just slide into the end, which I thought was kind of a bad question because I think it's kind of obvious that he didn't slide into the end and that he
Yeah.
was in charge the entire time. So he basically explains that with the numbers and, whatever. She calls Amanda out for always being apologetic and asks her to explain how she's better than Todd, which I thought this was a good observation to make. Like, she does come into this so just like apathetic about it. I don't know.
Mm.
Like, she's not really taking any ownership over her game or anything. And Amanda says it came down to who she can beat physically to control the game over Todd and basically winning challenges and things like that. And Amanda says it was her idea to get out to James, and that was her big thing over Todd. Once again, moving on. Eric asks about the riskiest move that they made in the game. And Amanda says the decision to get James out because James and Todd they definitely had something going on.
I'm sorry, Eric, you're stupid. And I can say this with my whole chest because
You're a bad person.
you're a bad person. Eric, you're stupid. Eric's response, I think that is a genuinely good answer to this question, because that was very risky. For then Eric to say, how is that risky? Because of why you would of course vote somebody out who has 2 idols. Just because it's the obvious move doesn't mean it's not a risky move.
And it shows that he just has no understanding of the depth in the game because
Yeah.
if Amanda says it perfectly after, if he had played an idol and was safe, that would have put her in a bad spot.
That, and also James was going to the end with that red tribe. It would have been perfect to keep James in the game, because then it would have been a final 5 for sure all red. Get PG and Eric out back to back, say one of the PG doesn't go on her immunity streak. Get them out. James is in the final 5. Like, that would have been perfect for Amanda. That would have been a great position for Amanda.
Yeah.
Arguably a better position, and that within her core alliance, and whatever. It was risky to get James out at that point because you're leaving Eric and PG in the game.
Yeah.
Like, that's risky.
It was risky. And he's dumb. So.
But in Eric's defense, Amanda doesn't really know how to defend herself. So
No.
if Amanda had said all that, it might have done a little bit more. But
yeah. Well, Frosty says that he feels like he doesn't even know Todd because Todd lied to him the entire time. And Todd talks about how he wanted to make friends genuinely, but he wanted to also put all his friends on the jury. So, which, I mean, yeah, he did exactly that. And that's why he ends up winning. Or not necessarily why, but he did make really good connections with people, and then he was able to explain it once they were on the jury at this point. Frosty tells Courtney that she looks great. And expected the lying and backstabbing from Todd and Amanda, but not from Courtney. And then Courtney says that she didn't befriend him just to take him out of the game. It's just kind of how things shook out. Which, fair. Jamie has the messiest part.
So I forgot about this. I'm surprised I didn't remember this. I was cringing at Jamie. I was like, this is bad.
So Jamie asked them to air out each other's dirty laundry about why the jury should vote for like the person answering the question over the other two.
Which I'm like, is that not what they've been doing this whole
Is that
time?
not like the entire point of this?
Literally.
Courtney says that airing out Todd's dirty laundry is redundant because he wears it on his sleeve, which is so valid. And then they kind of get into it a little bit. And Courtney's like, really? No. Like, what do you want me to say? And Jamie just keeps being like, tell me why you should win over Todd. And it's like, well, no, that's the entire point of this. And like what we've been
Yeah.
saying this entire time. So like you asking this question now doesn't really make
It
sense.
just makes me feel like you haven't been listening.
Exactly. And like, what do you want them to say? Okay.
God, I wish it was allowed on Survivor to be more backtalky to jurors, because sometimes jurors need it.
Yes. Like
Like, you
I'm
have
sorry,
too much power right now.
put Jamie in her place with this. Todd says that Courtney didn't want to be there and kind of just went along with him the entire time. Amanda says that Courtney is ungrateful and that Todd lied too much and unnecessarily hurt people. And Todd says that he had to do the dirty work for the girls to kind of just follow in his footsteps the entire time. Which, like, no one really wanted, especially, like, once Courtney was, like, not really going to do that, why would the other two follow and do that? So Jamie kind of has to give up on her question.
Okay, can we break down a couple things?
Yeah.
Okay. All of this is said. We're taking it all in. I ultimately feel that the jury's perception of who these people were overtook what the finalists were actually saying.
Yes.
Like, I honestly do not believe that Courtney nor Amanda could have said too much, because the perception going in was that Courtney didn't want to be there. Todd lied but sort of led things, and Amanda was Todd's second fiddle.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there was much that either Courtney or Amanda could have done to sway things. I also don't think that it was a male heavy jury with, what was it? It was Jean Robert, James, Frosty, Eric, and then PG, Jamie, and Denise.
Mm-hmm.
Male heavy. And I feel like it hurt Amanda, because I think the perception of Amanda being like an all-American girl, you're going to be more, and this is what I say about moms on Survivor. If the perception is, oh my god, the all-American girl, the beauty queen, isn't going to be a liar, manipulator, physical threat.
And if she is, how dare she?
How dare she? Because that's not her role. Her role is to be cutesy, demure, mindful. And I feel like it hurt. I think Amanda, going into Final Tribal Council, Amanda already had some things against her because she went against the grain of her archetype. Mm-hmm. Now, that being said, Amanda did not help her case. No. She gave a very bad Final Tribal Council, which I don't, because we see her going into this, her headspace is already fucked up. Like, she already is feeling like she's not going to win. I think that is a big part of the Final Tribal Council performance. If you're going into Final Tribal Council thinking you can't win, like, you've lost. Like, you need to have full commitment and command over your game and your choices.
And I think she could have won.
I do too.
I think if she was able to explain better, because I mean, we saw it from an audience perspective. She was working. It just kept not working out, or like whatever. But she did. She was working with people and trying to make these connections pretty much the entire time. And she did do well in those challenges. And I think Todd did make a lot of enemies. And so she was better able to articulate that and like show where she was coming from and like tell them how Todd made them feel, really. Like, be like, this is what Todd did to you. This is what Todd was telling me the entire time. Todd did not care about you. Blah, blah, blah. She could have won.
I think had Amanda more hardcore threw Todd under the bus, yeah, you're right. I think she could have won. I think if her argument had been, yes, I lied to you guys, and you guys see me this way, but I needed to keep Todd around because there was not one point this season that any of you were coming after me. If you were going to come after any of the three of us, it was going to be Todd and then Courtney and then me. There was no way that any of you were going to send me home.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you did, I was winning challenges, but outside of that, I was friends with all of you. And I understand that my choices hurt you guys. But at the end of the day, my goal was to get here and win the game. And I needed shields to do that. Like, I'm a physical threat, I'm a social threat, blah, blah, blah. If she had gone the path of being like, I needed Todd as a shield, yes, I let Todd do the dirty work because he's an asshole and he was mean to you guys. And I needed his image in front of me.
And I wish she would have played into at the jury. You guys all saw this. Almost all of you made comments about how sneaky Todd is, how big of a threat he was, but none of you could do anything to get him out. And none of you actually tried. I tried. I could not do it because
multiple times.
Because no one would do it. And
Yeah.
I think bringing that up and being like, look, you may perceive me as being his little buddy, but I really tried to get him out. It wasn't for lack of trying.
Lack of trying, but also like, had Amanda not cared in the moment, okay, because then the argument could be, well, PG went up to Amanda and was like, we should do this, or Eric and PG were like, we should flip, blah, blah, blah. Had Amanda wanted to, Todd would have gone home.
Yeah.
Like, there was no point in which Todd could have flipped people onto Amanda.
No.
Like, I'm sure at some point he probably could have convinced some people. But really, truly, deep down, if you think about it, Amanda had the control in that. If Amanda wanted to flip, she could have flipped, and it would have worked. Because people trusted Amanda because she wasn't consistently lying to them.
That's true.
Like, if she had just, like, I just imagine how hard that would have ate.
She could have made any argument, and if it would have had more passion...
Yes.
I think she would have gotten it. I think she could have said either of the two things, and people would be like, no, she has a point.
No, she has a point. Because she's right. If Amanda had the control, if Amanda wanted to get Todd out, she could have gotten Todd.
Yeah.
But it was better for her to keep somebody that people didn't like around.
Yeah.
Imagine if James, what? So, and that's that's the risk. If James had played one of his idols the night he was voted out, Todd would have gone home, not Amanda.
Yeah.
It was always going to be a shield in front of her.
Always.
I think if she had just thought a little bit more about it, it could have worked.
I know.
But, all that being said, Todd is a great winner.
We missed one juror, though.
Oh, what?
Denise.
Sure. I said Denise.
We didn't talk
Wait,
about...
what did we... Oh, her final question.
Yeah.
You're so right. I did forget about her.
So Denise is better.
She's better boots.
Mad. She is mad about not being taken to the end. She calls out Amanda for being a liar. She calls out Todd for being deceptive and having a bad conscience. And he needs to clean his conscience because he lies to people way too easily. And she respects Courtney for being honest. Period. That's what she had to say.
Period, queen, you tell him.
And then we cut to the live finale in Hollywood for the live reading of the votes with the studio audience.
I miss it.
It's so... Oh my god. It is so much better. Watching Todd win... Okay. We get to the votes. 4 Todd, 2 Courtney, 1 Amanda. Which is so devastating that Courtney got more votes than Amanda in the end. Like, that actually hurt my soul a little bit.
I got 2 more. I got 3 jury votes. I remember Amanda getting 0 for some reason. So, hey, 1 is better than none. I just remember her final tribal council being so bad.
Yeah. So, but watching Todd win and everyone being there and like happy and clean and like you've been able to process the season and then running to your family and having the people on like the live screen, you know, from home and just like getting to celebrate that moment was so special to watch.
It was, and yeah, it's just you're like having the people, family, the audience just adds so much to it.
Mm-hmm.
it's a different vibe. It just feels, and like I like that the contestants at that point, Amanda knew she wasn't winning. Oh wait, can we talk about how amazing Amanda and Courtney looked with their
Yes,
bangs?
their bangs.
The bangs killed me.
Their outfits were so 2007 too.
So 2007.
Yeah.
I kind of
loved
lived for it.
Yeah. But I just, in a, like, basically, I'm going to say in terms of, like, shows and, like, what's the word? Anything Hollywood. We're post-COVID at this point. Bring back the live, like, audience and finale, because it's so good. It is even, you know what, I even appreciate it more because we don't get it anymore.
Yeah.
And I think at this point there's no excuse to not have it, in my opinion. Truly no excuse.
Capitalism.
Truly no excuse.
Capitalism strikes again.
And
girl.
you know what? I know we talked about this before, but it's not like the prize amount has gone up over the years.
So
like,
true. With inflation, $1 million in 2007 is like $8 million today.
Basically.
Like if I round up.
Basically. And you know what? They're not giving away. This is another thing though. I don't believe that it's like that much more expensive overall to film today. Like, I know the crew has gotten bigger and all of that, but like the rewards aren't the way they used to be.
That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, there might be more physical people, but at the end of the day, they're just copy and pasting much of their stuff.
You're in the same location. You're on the same beaches. The sanctuary is the same.
Reduce, reuse, recycle. I appreciate, but
yes, but like, bring back the finale. I don't really care. And you're telling me that this show that's been on this long, like, I want to know the budget. And I want to know how much you're spending on. I want an itemized bill of what you're spending your money on.
Can I get the bill?
Because bring this back. And that's the end of that for me.
That's kind of like the end of the episode.
It is.
I think, sorry, I was about to get into this and then you're like, wait, we haven't talked about Denise. I think Todd is a great winner.
He is a great winner.
He dominated this season.
The entire time.
Like, there was never anybody but Todd.
No.
And he ate up that final tribal council. He knew what he wanted and he came in and he got it.
Well, yeah.
He was tuned in from the minute they arrived out of that train. They were praying to somebody, I can't remember. But he was tuned in the whole time. Where I feel like even Courtney admitted this. Also, I don't feel like Courtney Courtney didn't have a bad final tribal council. I think she could have given more of them.
You know,
had she wanted to win. I don't know if necessarily she wanted, like, if it was that serious.
No, I don't think she really cared.
I think she had to participate because she was like,
she somehow ended up at that point. She was like, I actually wanted to go to Ponderosa and like, lay by the pool.
What was that?
Okay. To talk about something that normally we disagree with. Todd, our gay Mormon flight attendant. I just had this connection. Do you think that maybe being a flight attendant did help out in his social game? Because you have to deal with people that are in a bad mood and annoying and rude. And then you also have to be like kind of overly friendly to them and like make sure that they're happy and keep them happy and like, I don't know.
Also, freshly 9/11, 6 years ago. Do you think he was a flight attendant 6 years ago?
I don't know. How old was Todd at this point?
Todd, well,
it was season 15, and I think they said he was 14 when the first one aired.
So 29?
Were they doing one a year at this point?
Oh no. It would have been... Todd was only 22.
No way.
Wait.
No.
What? Oh, no. This is the Breaking Bad subreddit. I don't know who Todd is in Breaking Bad. Why? The top... Okay. It's the first thing that popped up was this Reddit thing. Todd was only 22, didn't read the subreddit. Why does it say fucking Todd, this 22-year-old dude raised by Nazis and legit thinks he was shot by someone 30? And I went, wait, Todd was raised by Nazis? Oh my god, no. Todd in Survivor China was 22. So
Wait,
both Todds were 22.
how old was Frosty? Because he calls Frosty a young lad.
Frosty was 18, I think.
Oh my god, could you imagine getting $1 million? Oh my god, you're 22.
I know. Isn't that crazy? Like, when I watched Love Island this summer, there were...
Wait, you just cut out.
Hello?
Okay.
When I was watching Love Island this summer, there's a couple people that were my age on Love Island, and I was like, this is crazy. I'm in my reality TV prime right now.
Yeah, get on one.
2007.
Are you gonna be on Love Island next season?
Not unless they let boys kiss boys. Frosty was 20. He was not 18. He was 20 when he played. I think your mama.
Okay.
Great season of Survivor. We'll get into more of this next episode.
Yeah, we gotta wrap this up.
We do gotta wrap it up. But that was a good finale. I liked it.
So good. I loved it.
Congratulations, Todd.
Congrats, Todd. Congrats on your Funko Pops.
Did I tell you I went to the Funko Pop store on Hollywood Boulevard?
No.
Wait, did you see my Instagram post?
Yeah. Yes, but there were so many pictures and videos. I was not looking closely.
That makes me so sad.
Which it was cute. It was cute. I really liked it, but I was like, I'm not gonna sit and watch this.
Here, I'll show you some of the highlights from the Pop store. So this is me this is just Josh. In the Stranger Things section.
Demogorgon.
The Demogorgon in 11.
Are you into Stranger Things?
No.
Okay, I watched season 1. Oh, that's cute. I watched season 1 and wow, that looks just like you.
Thank you.
I've been wanting to get back into it.
No, I'm not necessarily to say.
Well,
guys, I had so much fun in California. But I'm about to have so much fun in Madison. Oh. Oh my god, I was supposed to end this episode on time. Well, I forgot that I started it. Hey everybody. Thank you for watching. Sorry for the longer episode. We just had so much to talk about. It was so exciting, so fun.
Yes.
Do you have any thoughts? Any other thoughts?
I have no thoughts.
Slay. Okay, well,
I'll save them for next episode.
Sure. Next week, make sure to tune in. We're gonna do our review of the reunion of Survivor China, as well as our sort of closing thoughts. I want to bring in some facts about Survivor China, talk about the longevity of this cast, talk about sort of where Survivor China lands in the lore of overall Survivor.
I'm really excited to hear this.
I think it'll be super fun and exciting. And then, yeah, make sure to, if you liked this content, if you like this video, this pod, subscribe to us, like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube where you're currently listening. And if you want more, make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, where you can find us at Making Fire Pod.
I thought you were going to say, if you want more content, be sure to subscribe to our Patreon.
So true. Incoming in soon. Soon. Well, 4 tiers. The first tier is going to be $25 though, so get ready for that, you guys. Cool. Well, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for enjoying the season with us, to the 3 people that followed along. And tune in. Oh my god, Survivor 47 is on its way.
It's so soon.
Well, we'll catch you there when we catch you. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Bye.
Smooches. I can't wait to see how this turns out.